Why? You think you could help him? You think you could simply play the part of a good girlfriend and pretend you never did anything wrong? You think just because you met him in the snow on such a lovely day, it must be true love? You are so good to Darian because you think that's the way you can make amends. But hey, Mariko, what about me? You weren't supposed to apologize to him. What about me, Mariko? What about Liddy? Dear Mariko is a short RPG Maker style game that tells the story of love, hate, and revenge. We followed a pink-haired girl who remains nameless for most of the game, leaving the audience to wonder, who is she? What is her relationship with Arian or Mariko? Who is Liddy? Why are there plants in the house? And why did Mariko come home with a knife already in hand? We obtained most of the answers to these questions in the epilogue of the game, which is also the prologue. In the epilogue, we discover a diary in Shinku's house, but when you read it, the pages aren't in order. So I took some time to put the pages in order to the best of my abilities, so we could make sense of how this girl fits into the story and how everyone else fits as well. So, without further ado, let's look into the epilogue and in the diary of Shinku. Read a random page? Yes. It's my first day at college today. I will be studying mechanical engineering. I'm not good with crowds, but as long as my best friend is with me, I will be okay. So this is where the diary begins, with Shinku, who appears to have some sort of introvert-like traits, is going to start college with her best friend Liddy. No drama, just new beginnings and a bright future on the horizon. Next page. I saw Darian today. It's been such a long time since I last saw him. I could almost die of embarrassment. I can never let him know how I feel. I'd sooner die. Okay, so Darian is Shinku's longtime crush, but she's too shy to confess to him. So instead, she just watches him and loves him from afar, not putting herself out there. Alrighty, next page. I think Darian has a girlfriend now. Then I guess there's no hope anymore, is there? After all, there's no way we can ever be together. Because she didn't put herself out there, she missed out on a chance to get with Darian, and she's kind of regretting that at this point, saying, oh, it's hopeless now because he's with someone else. Next up in the diary is, I've admired him for so long. He's so nice and kind. I'd wish he'd just turn my way just once. That's so selfish of me, though. I think Mariko caught me staring at him once. I'd almost died of shame. It's so terrible of me. So she's experiencing conflicting feelings because she wants to be with Darian, but she doesn't want to get in the way of this relationship that he's already in with Mariko. Read another page? Yes. Mariko is a really nice girl. My actions must be making her feel insecure. I should really control myself and stop making a fool of myself. She tries to help me with my problem. I'm glad. She's very kind. So Mariko realizes that Shinku has stalkerish-like tendencies and tries to counsel Shinku. I would assume that means she's telling her, like, hey, don't worry, there's other guys out there. There's not just Darian. I wouldn't be surprised if Shinku's actions do make Mariko feel insecure because there's suddenly this outside force interfering with her relationship. We can also assume that some of Shinku's actions are dangerous because as we read in Darian's letter, he states, I am afraid she'll kill you. That isn't an assumption you pull out of nowhere, out of thin air. She must have done something that demonstrated that she was dangerous. I'm sure at this point you're wondering, now how does Liddy fit into all this? We have all this talk about Darien and Mariko and Shinku, but who the heck is Liddy? Well, we'll find out a little bit more in this next page. Read random page? Yes. I'm worried about Liddy. She hasn't been her normal self recently, so this is the first time we officially see Liddy's name in the diary. Shinku is attempting to give all of this attention to Darien that Liddy is probably feeling really neglected, which is why she's acting differently than her normal self. It's either that or Liddy is really upset with this emotional situation that Shinku is in right now and how it's impacting her. On to the next one. Darien won't do anything. He won't even go to the police. Why? Because he's scared of Liddy. Liddy will stop him. And Mariko doesn't know anything. So this confirms that Liddy is in fact upset with the way Darien treats Shinku. Liddy enables Shinku to continue her crazy actions, whatever that might be. And even though he wants to go to the police, Liddy is doing something that stops him from going. My guess on that is this might be that Liddy knows that Darien and Mariko are brother and sister, so she is blackmailing him. As we found out in the true ending of the epilogue, Mariko and Darien are related to each other, unless it's just a different Mariko that's not his sister. But somehow Mariko is unaware of what's going on between Shinku, Darien, and Liddy. Let's continue on. Liddy died today. She killed blank. Liddy died, but Mariko just watched at the door. So Liddy, Shinku's best friend, has died in some mysterious way, and Mariko didn't do anything to help Liddy. This tells us one of two things. This tells us that Mariko knew that Liddy was doing that something and knew things would be better if she was gone, thus giving her a motive to not help her. But at the same time, maybe Mariko didn't want to help her because she had witnessed the murder or the struggle Liddy was having post-murder. It's possible that she was in shock. The fact that Mariko didn't help Liddy now gives Shinku a reason to dislike her, because earlier in the diary we read that Shinku saw Mariko as a nice person. Liddy came to visit me at the hospital, even though she's already dead. Liddy, I love you. I'm sorry I thought so much about Darien, I forgot about you. So after Liddy's death, Shinku has been put in the hospital for some reason, and Shinku states that Liddy came to visit her, so either Liddy is a spirit or Shinku is having a delusion of sorts. She obviously feels regret at this point. She chased a love that would never happen. And in the end, Shinku really is the loser here after all. She doesn't have Darien or Liddy at this point. All of this brings us to the very last page in the diary. Liddy told me to kill Mariko. If Liddy says it's okay, then it's all right. Like I stated before, Mariko not helping Liddy gives Shinku a reason to really not like Mariko. Mariko has everything at this point. She has the one person Shinku wants, Darien. But does Shinku want to kill Mariko out of hatred for not helping Liddy, or out of love because she still wants to be with Darien? Or is it because Liddy wants revenge through Shinku? This is where I'm unsure, because it is not clear if Liddy is a spirit or a ghost of Shinku's hatred and regret. Although, based on what Shinku tells Mariko in the true ending of the first half of the game, I think it's based on love only because she tells Mariko, It's because you even exist. That pertains to the fact that Shinku can't be with Darien. I really think love, as well as that hatred toward Mariko because she has Darien, she's the reason that Shinku lost Liddy. I think all of these things were her driving force, honestly. After reading the diary, Shinku goes to Darien and Mariko's house, where she ends up finding a letter to Mariko from Darien. This letter describes that he is leaving Mariko only for a while because he is worried that Shinku is dangerous. He's so scared Mariko will get hurt because Shinku is a monster, as he describes. He doesn't want to see her cry, so that's why he wrote the letter. But as Shinku reads this, she finds out how much the love of her life actually hates her, just how strongly Darien feels about her. Which inevitably ends up in Mariko's death because Shinku's just so hurt by this, the fact that she will never be able to get with Darien because Mariko is the one that he loves. Which brings us to the very end of the game, where Shinku is describing some sort of resolve. If you loved your brother so much that you were willing to kill, then I'll love Darien so much that I'll do the same. Are you happy now, Liddy? Of course I'm happy, sweetie. We're happy. I finally had my revenge. And you have Darien all to yourself. Congratulations, you. Congratulations, us. I wish I had done more to fight against you. But what's done is done. And at this point, she's, covered in blood, and she's able to say goodbye to Liddy, whatever Liddy may be at this point, again, whether that was an obsessive thought, a delusion, or an actual spirit. I'm hoping to do more videos like this in the future where we can talk about games that are a little bit confusing, but we can piece together and discuss. I'm very curious what your perception on this game is. Like, who is Liddy? Like, more like, what is she? Is she an obsessive thought? Is she a delusion? Is she a ghost? What was Shinku's main driving force? How could have Shinku done better to fight against whatever Liddy was to prevent this end result? I'd really like to hear from you guys and have a discussion on this. I really would. But alrighty, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you think of this style of video. I'd love to hear your feedback. And until next time, everybody have a lovely day. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!